So this is lunchtime. We're going to do yoga Pilates fusion. We're going to start seated, so you can do any seated position that works for you. It could be a cross-legged position, it could be kneeling on your heels, whatever works best. You can get into a lotus if you want to, and your knees will allow for that. So just find a way to sit so that your spine is nice and tall, and that you can mostly relax the shoulders and the arms. Now, it depends on how I've been kind of finding myself. If I find myself a little scattered and a little, you know, like there's too many thoughts, then I find it really useful to place my palms down on my thighs or my knees. For whatever reason, that creates a little sense of just kind of calming my mind. If I'm feeling a little sluggish or like I might fall asleep with my eyes closed sitting up, then I might do this so my palms are up. I think all it does really is just make my body pay a little more attention, because that's a weirder way to set my arms down. So it's a little bit easier to stay present. So you pick for yourself. You can close your eyes all the way, or you can just close them most of the way and have a little tiny slit so that you can see in front of you. Sometimes that's helpful for staying present, not drifting off into your own thoughts, as I am wont to do. And then notice the breath. The first thing I notice is that my right lung just expanded really quite dramatically. Left lung a little softer, right lung a little more present. So just noticing what's true for you, like what's happening for you when you take a big breath. Try to let your mind let go of any of the stuff that you've got to do later, or anything that you've been kind of working on through the moment, through the morning. This is adult recess. We're going to let all that stuff go for a moment. Take a nice big inhale. Just let your chin fall down towards your chest. Make sure that you don't lean forward into it. Just keep the rest of the spine relatively neutral, and then let your head kind of roll over each shoulder. Now, after the first trip around, you might find that there's some spots along the way that feel a little tender, or a little bit tight. So you can keep just rolling side to side, or you can pause with some of those little tight places. Just be kind to your neck. Sometimes certain spots are a little more sensitive than others. So it might be nicer to just hold some stretches instead of movement. And vice versa. Gotten both sides of your neck to a place that feels like you've at least checked in. Whether we've solved all of those problems or not is another story, but if everything's kind of been checked into, then you can float your head up, and we'll do some shoulder circles. The opposite direction. Now, we're going to take a nice big kind of tall position, and then our arch your back, so you kind of disappear back into a little rounded back position, and then sway the back so you sort of broaden out the chest. So it's sort of like cat-cow, but we're just doing this seated for a moment. Just trying to get a little bit of space through the upper mid-back. So now come back to that tall spine again, and we're going to twist over to one side. Now, if you can do it, reach across. If that doesn't work, cool. You just put your hand down somewhere on your ankle or whatever. And then we're going to take this, so I twist it to my left, so I'm going to take my right shoulder blade and pull it forward. And I'm going to take my left shoulder blade and draw it back into my back. And it's almost like I'm trying to get them to go right on top, left on the bottom. Create again some space in that upper back. And try not to overdo things for your low back. We're just trying to get those shoulder blades to move as much as they're willing without making everybody else pay. And then take a nice big breath. We're going to let that go. Come out of the twist nice and slow, but then get the shoulder blades moving a little bit. A little side to side with your rib cage. We're going to hunch the shoulders up and let them drop a couple times. Alright, so by now, hopefully your spine feels like it's pretty much back to a neutral position, so we're going to twist the opposite way. See if you can grab across, take the left shoulder blade, bring it forward, bring the right shoulder blade down and under. And again, we're just going to try to do that with the shoulder blades. Try not to do too much torquing with your low back. Let your low back have its own way. Try to get that movement to happen in the shoulder blades themselves. There might be resistance. And I'm not sure if resistance is futile in this regard. It might be. My resistance to it being the way it is might be futile. So we're going to take a couple more breaths. Unwind that upper back, undo the twist, create a little movement. Now hopefully what has occurred is a sense of greater mobility in the shoulder blade upper kind of middle part of the back. So we're going to come up to all fours, we'll come back to that cat-cow shape, and we're going to focus a little bit more on that lower back, lower quadrant. So that when I round the back, I'm going to let myself kind of find a little bit more space right through that lower end. Now this side is probably, again, going to orient itself towards the shoulders, that's fine. But just finding some space in the muscles around the rest of your back as you like. Some little side-to-side movements work really nice. We're going to tuck the toes and head into down dog. And if down dog is not your jam, you can stay with this all fours position or come to a standing forward bend. Half standing forward bend, whatever is appropriate. And then once you've gotten your downward dog pretty well adjusted, if you've chosen that one, just work your shoulder blades around on your back a little bit. Now some of us are going to be more comfortable with the shoulder blades a little closer to the ears, and some of us are going to be more comfortable with the shoulder blades a little closer to the hips. You just want to find the spot where they meld into your upper back the best. And then meld them into your upper back. And then draw back through the hips and walk your feet up and down. Let's get in touch with the legs and the heels and the feet. We're going to take ourselves into a forward bend and join anybody else who might already be there. Now, I've got my feet fairly wide. It's hard to tell on a circular mat, but if I were on a rectangular one, I'd be right at the edges probably. So I'm going to turn my toes about 45 degrees, and then I'm going to bend one knee. So that's my right one, so I'm going over to the right. And then I'm just going to straighten out the right leg, bend the left one, and then bend the right one again. Now, listen to your hamstrings, because as the leg goes straight, it might not need to be all the way straight. Just a tiny bit might be enough. And you might need to come up a little bit with your torso to make this better as well, okay? So we'll do one more. And then wander over to the other side. Same idea. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. And then we're just going to switch the straight leg. And again, you can come up higher. Or not straighten the leg out as much. Really just you and your hamstrings work things out. One more time, maybe two. All right, and then we're coming back to the center. We're going to come up halfway, and then you can come all the way to standing. Give yourself a nice big stretch. Move everything. And then we're going to find a mountain pose. Now, mountain pose at the top of the mat. So the feet face forward. We're going to use this as a baseline, because we'll come back to it a couple times and see how we did. So start with, what does it feel like to be in your mountain pose, whatever version of it you pick. Take the arms up and get a really big stretch. Exhale, fold yourself forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Now we're going to step back with the left foot into a warrior one. I'm low at this point, so I'm going to let myself hang. Now, it might be better for me to hang a little to this diagonal. It might be better for you to stay over the leg, okay? So you're going to find the right positioning for your legs so your legs are nice and sturdy. Then we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Reach the arms up, press the legs into the floor and stretch the floor, and then you're going to stretch your spine out really long and come back where we were. And then roll yourself up. Try to feel the bones in your back finding their home. Head's the last thing that comes up. If it gets wobbly, don't forget to catch. Stretch out. Then we're going to roll up. One more time, we're going to stretch out. Now when we get here, we're going to reach way out in front with our right hand. So you could put a block up there, take your left foot off the ground, and then open up into your half moon balance. If you fall, don't forget to catch, okay? You've got furniture around to help pull. Try not to fall on people or pets. Get as light as you can on your hand. Whee! Take one more breath. And then we're going to step this thing back into down dog. Again, you can go immediately to all fours. Okay? See if you can feel a difference between your right and your left side. Then we're going to come forward into a plank. Now you can maintain a full plank, or you can modify that plank. Keep it strong. Navel's in, okay? Tailbone, lengthening towards the heels or the knees. Lift through the shoulders. 2 more breaths. And we're going to come all the way down. We're going to start with a cobra with the hands really high, way up by the shoulders. So inhale, lift. Use your back muscles in your legs. Slide your hands back an inch. Inhale, lift. Little baby cobras. Doesn't matter how high it goes. Maybe the lift is only that much. That's cool. Slide them back a little. Lift. Come on back down. Now we're going to take the right leg and roll ourselves onto our back. So now the right side is toward you. Lay it on my back. Hopefully you can still see me. So, just, okay. So my right leg's gonna come in, and I'm gonna lift myself towards this right knee with my left elbow, 3 increments up, okay? We're gonna separate those increments. Now I can leave my left leg resting on the floor as I have it here. 1, 2, 3, or coming back to the center, left knee comes in. You can leave the leg elevated, okay? 1, 2, 3, back to the center, opposite leg. 1, 2, 3, back to the center. We want to get every ounce of work out of these obliques. 1, 2, 3, coming back. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Don't rush this process. Reach. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Reach through that leg. 1, 2, 3, coming back to the center. Good. We got 2 more sets. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Ready. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Extend. 1, 2, 3, coming back. This is our last set. Extend that left leg. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Right leg extends. 1, 2, 3, coming back. Good. Now, put your head down for a moment. Put your feet down. Let your abdominal muscles relax for a second. You can do some little windshield wipers. Check in, see if you were pulling on your neck. Always when we're doing Pilates, there's a chance that we'll try to use our neck muscles instead of our abdominal muscles to hold the head off the floor. This is really tricky. And so with this next move, it's really important that we keep the head and the neck mostly to themselves. Their job is not to hold the rest of us up. Their job is to hold themselves stable. So this is the best way to ensure that you're going to do that. You're going to put your hands behind your head, make a little basket. You're going to push your head into your hands and create a little structure there. So the neck and the head and the hands are all holding each other stable, and then you'll use your abs to lift your head up off the floor. Now if you can maintain that, then you can let go with your hands and bring them back, or you can even let the arms come down, sweep up, and come back. So this is going to be up to you. I like to keep that neck support, so I'm going to do it this way. Bring your knees in. So we're going to extend the legs and come back. Now here's the thing. The torso is staying in this curled up position, and the limbs, either just the legs or the legs and the arms, are extending, but the shoulders never touch back down, okay? So curl up, hold the curl, extend, and come back. Extend, and come back. Extend, and come back. Extend, come back. We got 2 more. Extend, come back. Extend, come back. Good. So we're going to take the body out, give it a big stretch. Oh gosh, that feels good. We're going to take this right leg, flip ourselves all the way back over. We're going to do baby cobras, 3 of them. Little baby cobra. 1, 2, 3, and then we're taking ourselves back to down dog. Pause for a moment. See if you can feel, a difference in your body. Take your left leg, lift it up. Bring that knee in nice and tight, curl up around it. Stretch it back, sink into your right heel a bit. Bring it in, curl up around it. Stretch it back, sink if you can. 1 more time. Bring it in, curl up around it. Hold the curl, and then bring it as far forward as it goes in 1 step. Step up to it with your right foot. Come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Come all the way to standing. Give yourself a nice big stretch. We're going back to that mountain pose. Now, is there a difference? in the way mountain pose feels right now than it did at the beginning. Nice big breath, arms go up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Now again, we're going to step back, right foot, warrior one. And we're finding that warrior one and deciding, is it better to stay over the center or a little more over the side? And then we're going to roll ourselves up. Ooh, trying to keep that as stable as possible. You might adjust it when you get up to the top. Give it a good reach. Stretch your spine forward. And then roll it up. Give it a good reach. Stretch your spine forward. And roll it up. It feels so good. Stretch it forward. And roll it up. This is, I like to go super slow. All right, we're going down one more time. Stretch it forward. Then we're going to reach way out with that left hand. See if we can find that balance in our half moon. Whee! Get as light as you can. Catch if you fall. Good. Last breath. Put both hands on the floor. Step yourself back into your down dog. Oh. Ooh, yogis. All right, so we're coming forward into a plank. Again, you can maintain that full plank or modify it. And then dial in all that abdominal work. Lift through your shoulders. We're holding steady. 2 more breaths. Feel yourself recommit to the abs on each exhale. And then we're lowering down. And coming into cobra, little baby cobra 1. Little baby cobra 2. And little baby cobra 3. Now we're going to extend the right arm, roll onto the right side. So your head is resting on your arm, your hips are resting on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other, hips on top of each other. If you feel really wobbly, move your feet forward, put your hand forward. If you need a bigger challenge, line yourself up, or even lift your legs off the ground and extend your arm. You'll have to use more abdominal strength to maintain this in this position than you do in this position. So work with whatever you can be successful at and challenge yourself appropriately. We're going to bring the feet behind us and lift them up. So the knees are together and the feet are up. We've got an internal rotation of this top leg. Then we're going to open the knees. That externally rotates and turns these outer hip muscles on. Extend the leg, that makes it work harder. Bring the toes together, close it up. Now the internal hip rotator has to fire up, okay? So we're going to try to feel these movements between the muscles. If extending the leg hurts your knee, don't do that part, just hold it for a beat and then close it up, okay? So nice and slow and steady, you open, extend, bring it back, close it up. You can move a little slower if you like. The slower you go with Pilates, actually, the more intense your body has to work to stabilize you. Draw in through the sides of your waist to help hold your abdominals stable. And keep those hips as stable as possible. Okay, we're going to do 3 more of these. All right. Now, hopefully, when you extend your legs out, you can feel that that outer hip was working really nicely. So we're going to switch to the inner thighs on our leg that's on the bottom. So I put my left leg across. It can also go out straight, or you can put your knee on the floor. We're going to reach out through that right leg, lift that right side waist up, and then pulse that right leg up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Keep lifting that side waist. 2, 1. Now we're going to make a circle with the leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, don't let that side twist drop, go the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift again, pulse it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, stretch that leg out. 1, bring that leg down. There should be a nice sensation in your inner thigh and this outer hip. We got to spin around to do the other side. I'm going to do a 180-degree turn. If you just want to roll, you can do that. So now I'm resting my head on my right arm, hips stacked, shoulders stacked. Make the choice of whether you should keep those knees slightly elevated or whether they're going to touch the ground. How hard are you going to work with your core? Lift the side waist. Knees are going open. Extend. Bring the toes together. Bring the knees together. Work this outer hip. Nice and steady, smooth movement. Almost like you're in the water, like a water ballet movement. Nice and smooth against the resistance, the imaginary resistance of that water. Good. Keep those movements distinct so that we can really feel those outer hip muscles and those little inner thigh guys doing their jobs. 3 more. Last one. All right, so then I'm going to extend those legs out. Bring that top leg forward again. You can decide how you want to do that. Reach out through your left leg. Ooh, lift your left side waist up. And then we're going to pulse that left leg up higher. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it up. Lift that side waist 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift that side waist again. Go the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to the center. Lift and pulse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let that leg come down. We're going to roll onto our back. We're going to give ourselves a little moment of windshield wipers, because believe it or not, our half an hour is pretty close to up. So all we're going to do last is we're going to do a little hug. Now, if you've got a few extra minutes and you want to do some Shavasana on your own, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not at your house. So you can do whatever is appropriate. But if you like, you can just hug the knees in, give yourself a little back massage. Hopefully that was energizing and it feels like you're ready to take on your day. Sometimes when we do core work, we fire up that Manipura chakra, that area of our body that's sort of like, yeah, I can get this done. I've got the power. Don't let it go to your heads. Or maybe you do, I don't know. So you can stay with Shavasana or you can come to a seated position. And either way, I will bid you adieu with a nice big breath and a big deep sigh and a greeting to the rest of your day. Namaste, yogis. Enjoy your post-yoga Pilates glow.